Welcome to the most haunted places on Earth. Hey there, fellow spooky boas and ghouls. Let's start. Today, we're diving headfirst into the chilling mysteries of the most haunted places on Earth. From ancient towers to abandoned prisons, we're separating fact from fiction and examining the science behind the scares. So, buckle up, grab your EMF readers, and get ready for a wild ride. Alright, let's kick things off with a British classic. A place steeped in so much history, it practically oozes spooky energy. The Tower of London. This imposing fortress has served as a royal palace, a treasury, and yeah, you guessed it, a prison. We're talking centuries of imprisonment, executions, and some seriously shady stuff going down within these ancient walls. No wonder it's crawling with ghosts, right? One of the most famous residents is Anne Boleyn, the second wife of King Henry VIII, accused of treason, imprisoned in the tower, and ultimately lost her head in a tragic end. Now, visitors and guards alike claim to have seen her ghostly figure, often near the anniversary of her execution. Talk about holding a grudge. Then there's the story of the two young princes, Edward and Richard. They were held at the tower and vanished mysteriously, presumed murdered on the orders of their uncle, Richard III. Some say the princes still roam the tower, two innocent souls forever trapped within its ancient walls. Is it really ghosts? Or could it be the echoes of the tower's gruesome history messing with our minds? Either way, the Tower of London definitely earns its spot on this list of haunted places. Next up, we're heading to the American South, to a place dripping with Southern Gothic charm and more than its fair share of spooky tales. The Myrtles Plantation. This grand old mansion in Louisiana has a history as complex and unsettling as its architecture, filled with stories that send shivers down your spine. It's said to be built on a Native American burial ground, which, let's be honest, never ends well in these stories of haunted places. But the real star of this haunted house is Chloe, a slave who, according to legend, poisoned her mistress and was hanged for the crime she committed. Now, her spirit is said to wander the plantation, often seen wearing a distinctive green turban that makes her easily recognizable. People report seeing strange figures in the windows, objects moving on their own, and even full-bodied apparitions that defy explanation. Could some of these sightings be explained by something a little more earthly and less supernatural? Infrasound, for example, is a low-frequency sound that humans can't hear, but can cause feelings of unease, anxiety, and even hallucinations in some cases. And let's not forget about good old-fashioned carbon monoxide poisoning, which can cause similar symptoms. Is the Myrtles Plantation truly haunted by the victims of its tragic past? Or is there something else at play here? Something more scientific? The Stanley Hotel, Redrum, and real-life horror. You know a place is seriously creepy when it inspires a Stephen King novel, one of the masters of horror. That's right, folks. We're talking about the Stanley Hotel, the granddaddy of haunted hotels, and the inspiration for The Shining. King and his wife, Tabitha, were the only guests at the hotel during their stay. And let's just say, the emptiness, the isolation, and the hotel's eerie atmosphere got to him in a profound way. He even had a vivid nightmare about a possessed fire hose chasing his young son through the halls. That nightmare became the foundation for one of the most iconic horror novels of all time, The Shining. Guests at the Stanley Hotel have reported all sorts of strange occurrences. Piano music echoing from the empty music room, children laughing in the hallways, and even the unsettling feeling of being watched. Some have even claimed to see the ghosts of former staff members, still hard at work, it seems, even in the afterlife. Before we chalk it all up to ghosts, let's consider some other possibilities. Could some of these experiences be attributed to sleep paralysis, a condition where you're aware of your surroundings but unable to move or speak? It often occurs during the transition between sleep and wakefulness and can be accompanied by hallucinations and feelings of terror. And then there's the matter of electromagnetic fields, or EMFs. Fluctuations in EMFs have been linked to a whole range of strange experiences, from feelings of unease to auditory and visual hallucinations. Could the Stanley Hotel's wiring, or even its unique location, be contributing to these ghostly encounters? Eastern State Penitentiary, solitary confinement and unsettling echoes. For our final stop, we're venturing into the decaying halls of Eastern State Penitentiary, a former prison in Philadelphia that's become synonymous with brutality, isolation, and yes, you guessed it, paranormal activity. This place was once at the forefront of prison reform, designed to inspire remorse and rehabilitation through solitary confinement. But the experiment backfired, with prisoners driven to madness by the isolation and despair. Today, Eastern State stands as a haunting reminder of its dark past, with visitors reporting cold spots, disembodied voices, and shadowy figures lurking in the cell blocks. Could the unsettling atmosphere of Eastern State be a result of its history, the residual energy of suffering and despair that seems to cling to the very walls? Is it possible that the paranormal activity reported at Eastern State is simply a manifestation of the psychological torment endured by the prisoners who once called this place home? So, are these places really haunted? Well, there you have it, 5 of the most haunted places on Earth, each with its own chilling tales and unexplained phenomena. We've explored the history, the legends, and the scientific theories that might explain these spooky occurrences. But ultimately, the question remains, do you believe in ghosts? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, stay spooky.